What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's ATX Crypto here on a fun Sunday stream. Folks, this is going to be a fun little stream where if y'all got questions, y'all are more than happy to ask away in the chat. Thank you so much to all the love, support, and appreciation of everyone. The channel has been growing recently like crazy. Much love to all of that as well. Shout out to everyone who's here on a Sunday. I know they got a lot going on. Primarily, we talk about Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. In fact, today we're going to be discussing a similar topic, but we're actually going to be going over the full moon and how that could be playing in to effect as to how it's happening. Yeah, exactly. Long time no see as well. How you doing, my friend? Checks my pulse. What's up? Got the Christmas tree in the back for you, just for you today. Hope you appreciate that. I'm just kidding. Christmas tree's always up, y'all, by the way. But yeah, no, today we're actually going to be going through. We just got done doing a fun little family vacation where, we had the family in town, did all sorts of activity. And I hope all of y'all are able to do the activities as well and just get out and enjoy some life. Got the nice little bowling round in that I've been craving so much lately. You just have that temptation to go do something. I've been craving bowling for whatever reason. Just been craving it like crazy lately. And so I was glad to be able to actually get that done and taken care of. I think the highest score I bowled was like a 187 or something like that. So unfortunately, it didn't quite break my 200 200 record. Not record, 200 little average that I used to be able to once maintain. I don't know if I am there yet anymore, being that I couldn't break my 200 score yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. So wonder how y'all's week's been going, though. I've been kind of stuck away. I stepped away from looking at prices. I stepped away from looking at Twitter and being involved with any of that. So yeah, just kind of curious to see how it all works as well. Kind of curious to see how it all goes for you. But let me know. Let me know what you got going on. There we go. Cool. Switching up the setup just a little bit here. So still trying to make some arrangements to make it all happen and make it all easy to see for everyone. But yeah, what's happening, y'all? Let me say what's up to some beautiful folks. Once again, we got Gloria in the chat. Great day to be alive and a blessed day to all the good people. I'm taking my seat where I belong. Much love, Gloria. Much love on that one. I just got done doing the Patreon stream just a little bit ago, a couple hours ago. We do a weekly Patreon call where we just talk about different plans and strategies going forward into the next week every single time. So we just finished that. If you're looking at joining, we do have a recording go up on all of that every single week as well, which you get access to. We just finished number 17. So looking forward to continuing on and more. Link down below if you want to join. Gilbert Moreno, how are you, my buddy? Doing good. Salute to you as well, my friend. Yeah, please, no. No pump yet. I just got a new job. Well, congrats on the new job, my friend. Again, the whole game plan about this whole thing is DCA over the span of the next 12 to 18 months. I've been talking about that since once Pulse Chain launches. That should be everyone's goal, regardless of where price is. Obviously, you want to try to capture these opportunities, maybe do a dynamic DCA where you're going a little bit harder at these prices because these prices are just looking too damn juicy right now. And in fact, just looking at gopulse.com, we got several prices coming all around, looking pretty damn good if you ask me, right? So whenever I'm looking at this kind of stuff on this real fast, yeah, please no pump. Here's the prices that we see. So currently sitting at 40371 for Pulse Chain, which in regards would be roughly about 63% down at this point in time from sacrifice price. PulseX Kit sitting at 40109, sitting about 90% down from sacrifice price there. Now, keep in mind, this did just go below very briefly to 4094. If I remember correctly, I did a little screenshot whenever we were looking at that, or I did a little capture that when we were going over it with the group call on Patreon. But 40109, 108 now. Again, better opportunity, getting more and more juicy every single second. There's already been 377 billion PulseX bought and burned. That number is only going to continue to get higher, which is really, really freaking awesome because it's kind of like the T-share metric of Hex, how the T-shares are always going to get lower and lower over time. So kind of curious how that's all going to work out and play out. Definitely have the deflation mechanism happening with Pulse X, as there are no longer ever going to be any other coins created other than what has been created at the time of launch. So if you actually go on down here and just say include OA, you can see the total token supply was right at 143 trillion tokens. So far, we've only barely burnt through, not even 1% yet at this point in time. There are still many tokens to be burned, but if we just include or exclude the OA, then again, we're looking at 377 billion out of 21 total supply. So pretty darn freaking cool. Got the incentive token sitting at 123. We have the price of Hex on Pulse Chain sitting at 2067. Price of Hex sitting on Ethereum currently sitting at 2036. It looks like we are getting closer back to the 1-to-2 ratio. We are getting closer to a 1-to-1 ratio for a small period of time. I think the closest I had ever seen it really get was roughly about 1 to 1.7 or so. So prices overall looking pretty damn good. And to get back on the point of what you're talking about, just got the new job. So hopefully you're able to get some of these prices. I imagine they may end up staying here a little bit longer. I get happy seeing the Xmas tree. I appreciate that. I hope everyone gets happy seeing the Xmas tree. It looks great. It looks so beautiful. It is amazing. So one thing I wanted to talk about was the full moon. We actually have the full moon coming up really soon. As a matter of fact, on August 30th or August 31st, it will be here, meaning that we were going to be experiencing some of that bearish energy that full moons like to bring about. So I wanted to share this with everyone because I think it's kind of important to just have a plan in place. Again, the 5 P's of proper preparation prevents poor performance. Have those plans in places so that way when something arises and should it so present itself to you, then this is something that you can take advantage of. So you can see at this point in time, we are currently sitting on the full moon coming up on August 30th. This is going to be that full blue moon because there are 2 moons in the month of, there are 2 full moons in the month of August. So we've already experienced one. We did see that August 1st was around the time we got the SEC news allegation. It was on July 31st. Or it was within that 3 to 5 day window, like we talk about, where some crazy bear stuff may end up happening. Who knows exactly what could happen in the next coming week or so, but I wanted to share this with everyone to be properly prepared should a situation, should it so present itself. Because, guys, this is that chance that should Hex, for example, get down and do something super freaking dirty all of a sudden out of nowhere, this could be that chance and opportunity to go ahead and scoop up some of these things. Now, on the Ethereum side, very easy to take advantage of. And the reason why is because you can do things called limit orders. So when you put in a limit order on things like swap.cow.5, for example, you get a nice little bit of leeway of peace of mind. So you don't even have to worry about looking at the chart anymore. You don't have to worry about what if the price gets low, where am I going to buy at? You already set those information and prices way ahead of time. So if you are doing limit orders, for example, the way it typically works is a ladder down strategy is usually by far one of the best strategies you can use to actually take advantage of these prices. So what I mean by a ladder strategy on the way down is if this price right here is not juicy enough for you, or if you are looking to get a more opportune price, should it so present itself in the future, this could be a good opportunity. So right now, the current price of Hex on Ethereum sitting at 0.0035, meaning that it's 0.3 of a penny. So what I would do as a first level down is roughly about half of where we are now. So this would put the price around 3 or 0.0032. I'd say half of where we are, between 3 and 3.5, right? That's what I mean by half. So that would be the first one I would do. I would just get one set around this price, just so if it happens to hit again, you can take advantage and you are getting a better deal than if you just bought right now. Now, currently, the previous low that we had hit was roughly in this 0.003 range, which actually ended up hitting right at 0.00294375 was the actual true local low that we have hit. We have not hit that low level all the way since back here in November of 2020, by the way, to be fair. So it had been quite some time since we had actually been over there. And I wanted to share this because if it goes down that low again, we don't really have too many levels below to hold resistance and support, meaning that we could, in fact, see a level where things end up going through and taking a further drop than we may have anticipated previously as well. So, what I do is I have a limit order set here, I have a limit order set down in the twos, and then I have a limit order set down in the ones. And the reason why I do this is because I don't want to have to constantly be checking the chart. I don't want to constantly have to be ready to deploy capital should it so present itself. And then I don't want to second guess myself when it reaches that price and hold and not buy at that price when we may never see those prices again. And you would just end up losing that money because of an indecision or a lack of a decision being able to be made because of too many options or because you think you might get a little bit better deal. Now, that's where greed comes into play. Do not let greed take over. I see greed take over so often when prices are this low already. They typically will say, I'll just wait down until it goes down until, 2-0. Like when it reaches, imagine it reaches this level. So say we get to 2-0-2-5, for example. Play with me here, right? For just join me along the journey. So imagine we get to this level here. Well, people will typically say, what if it reaches 0.002 and I can get so much more tokens? I'm just going to wait. And then what happens? Inevitably, for whatever reason, the price looks like it's going to keep going down. Like you've made the best decision. You did the right thing. Then it goes down and it reaches 0.0021 and then it just goes back up and never sees that price again, for example. And then you're thinking during that time, dang, I wish I could have just got it at 2.025 because that was a good price. So don't let greed take over in these situations. That's why limit orders can be so crucial because you remove emotion out of the equation. I let it go for 6 months is how I do it through Cal Swap. So I don't even have to worry about when I'm buying, when I'm selling. Things are already in place to execute so I can step away from my computer and things can happen for me automatically. This will be beautiful when it comes over to Pulse Chain. I just don't know of a good reputable source on Pulse Chain to get this done at for limit orders at this time. So keep that in mind. So if we do see a full moon cycle, which by the way, we're already within the window, I am anticipating that we are going to see some more bearish action arise and show itself in front of us to us. So keeping that in mind, guys, this is kind of where I'm looking at. We don't really have too much chart history going back either because once again, we haven't been at these prices since November of 2020. Okay. So as a reminder, that is quite some time that we haven't been at these prices. So I'm playing this as a way of making sure that should it go down, I'm still in the threes. I got one here. Should it be in the twos? I got one here. Should it fall into the ones? I got one here. This is how I play my limit orders. Now, these prices may never get hit, y'all. You have to understand, putting a limit order down here is almost like a Hail Mary play, thinking that we're going to see these prices arrange or arise. Because if we do see below, by the way, anything below, and I've said this in the past, anything below two zeros in a two, we'll say, we're probably looking pretty bearish because I drew this line in the past, and this would be the next level of somewhat support that we would have at this point in time. And that's quite a ways down because that's 3 zeros and a 4. So I don't have my limit orders going down that low. If it does get that low, congrats to anyone who may be ballsy enough or willing enough to even put a limit order that low. I just don't see it happening. But again, I haven't seen these prices be a thing in quite some time, to be fair. So, whoops. I just noticed I had the little Pulse Nation logo going up top too. Shout out to Pulse Nation. We do a daily stream, we do a weekly stream with myself and co-host Westcott every single week. So guys, come on, tune in, have some fun. We're looking at making it to where we not only do it all those days, but maybe even other days as well. So we're playing it by ear, but we shall see. Once again, like, share, subscribe, show your love for the video as well. Much love to every single one of y'all who are making it on this Sunday as well. So let's say what's up to some people. I haven't said what's up to some people in a little bit, so let's say hello. Yeah, please like and share the stream. Thanks so much, Gloria. Always so much love. I get happy seeing the Christmas tree. I do too. Hey ATX, what's up, Archie? How you doing, my friend? Touching grass is always good for all of us. Happy Sunday. which level Patreon allows for the weekly call. Every level gets you the weekly call. South Texas Crypto. PLS die, and I have 3 levels, by the way, $5, $20, and $55. $55 allows once a month, and then the other ones allow access to full charts and profit taking areas with weekly calls as well. PLS die going down. Yeah, is that not to be expected? Like, I'm almost just kind of curious. Like, what did you think was going to happen with that? I'm not shocked that it's going down because it's not backed by anything. It's a false hope play that just says if it happens to do something, I'm willing to take a shot, but I definitely wouldn't be. See, here's the problem. People here's the problem. People will trade their Pulse, their Hex, and their Pulse X on these moves right here, thinking they can double their bag of Pulse, Pulse X, or Hex, maybe. Or they're thinking, I'd rather just make some quick money and then I can just put the rest back into Pulse, Pulse X, and Hex. And then the last one is, I'm bored. This isn't doing anything. It's going down. I want some green candles. And then they go chase the green candles after it's already done so many green candles. That's so sad when unfortunately you just see it happen that way, but that is what happens every single time. Little bit crazy if you think about it that way, because unfortunately it just is what it is. I mean, looking at the chart itself, yeah, this isn't anything too crazy. I'll pull this up for, I mean, just for S's and G's, you know what I mean, since we're talking about it anyways. But PLS tie going down. Okay. What's happening? So we got, this is all the pump, and this is when anyone could have been buying way back here during any of these things. If you thought this was going to do something into the future, this is many zeros. If you actually go all the way back up here, 5 zeros, in fact, and you can even go lower. You can get 5 zeros and a 2. Wow. If you got that, good move on that one. You know what I mean? Like, they are freaking making moves on that one. But were you actually back here? Probably not. Most likely you heard about it somewhere in here. This is when a lot of people started kind of hearing about it, and look what happened to the price all of a sudden. Now all of a sudden you see people start hearing about it, and now we get that nice little triangle forming. And the triangle, well, it's shit. Unfortunately, if it is what it is with the triangle and you actually want to get a little bit crazier with it, you would put it right about here, and then, yeah, I mean, see what you can make happen from here. Unfortunately, guys, this does not look pretty. Like, if you ask me, the way I'm looking at this is just a quick little meme coin. Doesn't look like there's any traction, anything crazy like that. These were the volume days. The volume's already starting to die back down, meaning if it can't keep this volume up, the price will in fact roll over and it will go back down into this level if it cannot keep that volume up. Because look back here, there was no volume during these days. So should volume end up dying out and back and just kind of like getting weak again, yeah, I mean, that's going to be some sad day situations for sure for some people. Yeah, because this is kind of what I see happening. A nice little rollover, unfortunately. If it breaks out of this line, and it kind of probably ends up falling, even if you just want to get technical. This is a freaking day chart of a thing that's been pumping for a few days. But if it drops below 3 zeros and a 6, expect it to go all the way back down at least to 3 zeros and a 3. And if it doesn't hold that level, expect it to go all the way back down to 4 zeros and a 4. So get ready for that one, guys. If you're holding on, this could be that little full moon play that could just get you freaking wrecked. So I would be careful and cautious if anyone's messing with that stuff, but that's kind of what happens. I'm listening. I'm listing you in ghost mode. Hey, appreciate that. How you doing, Attila? We got the pothead. What's up, my man? What's popping, my G's? What's chilling? Yes, made alive. What up? Hex Fam Crypto Truth. Always good. What's good, Mo? Digging it. DCA is the way. In fact, what is the best ramp to use for onboard tool? What is the best ramp to use for an onboard tool? Not quite sure I understand the question on that one. I don't know if there's like a good ramp to get used, because The problem is here's the main issue when it comes to like crypto, right? The main issue when it comes to crypto is onboarding someone into crypto. That's by far one of the biggest things that we have to face. It's one of the biggest hurdles that you have to overcome is how do you onboard someone into crypto? Because onboarding someone into crypto, while you can do it now and it seems easy, and in reality, the steps aren't that complicated. It is way more difficult than it need be to onboard someone into crypto, true crypto. Not be like, hey man, go get a Coinbase app and download this app and go buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like none of that, right? That's the easy way. They hold the keys, they hold your coins, not your keys, not your coins. You've heard this before. So to onboard someone into like true DeFi, man, you got to go through and teach them all sorts of fun stuff about wallet security, about how to make sure they protect their assets, pretend like it's already $1 million in that account and what you would be willing to do within that $1 million. Like you got to go through that level. Don't take screenshots. Don't take photos. Don't do any of this stuff of your seed words. Like all this stuff. Don't save them in your notes. Like all this stuff you have to go through and teach. Once you get past that phase, then you can go through with the onboard section. So sometimes some of the easiest things you can do are websites like Change Now and Changely and Let's Exchange.io and those kinds of stuff because of convenience. Like you literally just go in here and say, or even Cash App, shit, dude. Like PayPal allowed it to do the other day where PayPal allowed it. I could do a purchase and buy Ethereum through PayPal and send it to a wallet or buy it in my wallet. I forget how it all worked, but it allowed it to be purchased through the wallet with PayPal. That's pretty freaking simple for a lot of individuals and a lot of folks. For other individuals, they don't want to go through that stuff. They want the no KYC route. They want all this stuff, and that's a lot more difficult than anything else. Is to try to figure all that out, how to stay obfuscated, so that way you don't end up showing your wallets being connected with each other, showing that you're selling and moving and doing all this stuff. So yeah, okay, cool. So here we go. Easiest ramp from outside pulse chain to enter in. Easiest ramp from outside pulse chain to enter in. I mean, really the bridge is the easiest way. I know that may not be the ideal way, but the bridge is like the smoothest, fastest, and easiest way. And then once you bridge in whatever you have that you have, you just swap it for the token that's available on Pulse chain. So you don't run the risk of holding the bridge token on Pulse chain, for example. So I would say the bridge would be by far the best way to do it. Oh, that sucks. That sucks, Paul. Yeah, just seen that right there. That's no good. I haven't checked out the PulseTube in a hot minute, but how are they doing, man? PulseTube.com. They're doing a bunch of stuff for a long time. They used to do all, like you said, who is live and who's this and who's that. So they still have a live schedule right now. Doesn't look like I'm there. They have a couple of things going on. Maybe it's just they have a couple of people now that they have, but that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. So 0x Coast is actually one of the easier ways to do it. They are not available in Texas, so I haven't been able to use their system yet or use it out. But yeah, Sovereign's saying Coast. Paul Sox is saying Coast as well, which is 0, like the number 0x Coast. You can actually just go to their website. 0x Coast, I believe, is the main website. 0xcoast.com. They can check it out. What up, Westcott? How you doing, my boy? I love the new setup, man. He just posted up his whole setup. He finally got the little switchboard. I see you over there with that switchboard. Man, we're going to be bringing out some stuff on Pulse Nation, baby. So shout out to my boy Westcott on the new setup that he's got going on with this full-on thing. You don't know? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 0x Coast is one of the better ways to do on-ramp and off-ramp. Were they not experiencing, correct me if I'm wrong, were they not experiencing like a slight issue? Something happened where I don't want to say the wrong thing. So maybe you can explain what exactly just recently went down with Coast. I remember it being something, I can't recall exactly what it was. But either way, like I'm a fan of the bridge because like that's the easy thing to do. Like so like OKX isn't available in the States, so I don't have access to that. The other protocol that was out there that's a DEX didn't have access to it as well. That's a SEX, I mean, couldn't get access in the US as well. They had 0x Coast, can't use in Texas. So I'm like, everything that I'm used to using, probably is a simple way of doing it, but you just bridge in whatever item that you want and swap it for the token that you want at the time. Now, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're still waiting on stablecoins to come in for Pulse Chain. Or do we already have a stablecoin built in live into Pulse Chain already? Let me know if anyone knows that. Love to know that information as well. And not like the stablecoin PDI play that everyone's be messing around with right now. That's garbage play, obviously. Talking about like a true stablecoin. Let me know if anyone knows something like a true stablecoin on Pulse Chain. Can I look it up by stables? Can I search it and filter it? No. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me see what else we got. What up, Sovereign Man? Yeah, of course, man. What's up, Crypto Truth? Positive vibes. Good to see people. I see some people on X. That's so weird. That's so weird just saying X. I guess everyone just already got used to it. Twitter, but yeah. So I see some people on X panicking about MetaMask KYC coming, and even asking if they need to ES to change wallets. Could you give us your opinion? Thanks. Yeah, interesting thought, Gilbert. For one, if it came down to a KYC situation and you EESing, that would be pretty garbage. I wouldn't EES, not for that reason, personally. That would be my first thought. The second thing is you should have majority of your stakes in other wallets outside of MetaMask as well. So if you don't, maybe you can start setting some stuff up now just so you don't feel tempted to EES should you do something like that when the time comes. And yeah, I mean, KYC has just always been a thing. I know that leads towards regulations, and I know it leads towards everything just kind of happening. But if you want to interact with the fiat system and how they play their games, and you want to have easy onboard and easy access to be able to get in and out of crypto, it kind of comes with this KYC system as well. Unfortunately, like that's what sucks. So I would say if they do that, I would be shocked. I would be shocked if the MetaMask ended up going with the KYC route. I would be shocked. I don't think that's happening. But if it does, we got other wallets available. Would you EES? Fuck no. Fuck no. You would not. Shit, dude. Why EES? That's so silly. Especially when you can import your okay, so MetaMask has the seed words, but you can import those words because those are just your keys. Like those are the keys to the door that access the vault inside, right? And so why would you EES because MetaMask is being stupid? Like that seems silly to me, especially being that you can go through and enter those same keys into a new door and access the vault behind it. Right? So be careful, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But just isn't simple enough for them. Okay, cool. Those ADHD kids. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Atlantean? Much love to all the Patreon supporters as well. That's what I get for not tuning into the stream for a few weeks. Pete ATX isn't a hater. He's the truth speaker. I got to stick to my roots and not the B roots. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, dude. Like some people are gonna be able to make money off that, but again, like I'm in the Your Friend Saw Me page on this book where he said, out of 100 people, 3%, three people are gonna make it, right? I'm here for the 97 who just want an easier method, not having to stare at the charts all day, trying to make the craziest play ever and invest in 100 different tokens to see if one of them may pan out. Like I'd much rather know that the journey that I'm on, while it may be more boring and slow, it's like the tortoise and the hare type play, while it may be boring and slow, that I'm on the right path and the right journey and I'm not veering off. I used this story the other day with Wes on our stream, but like my wife was driving and we were driving with fam and just everyone's in the car and she's coming up to some traffic. And normally we just sit through traffic. Not in a rush, no hurry to be anywhere. It's all good. We know it's going to be appropriate. Traffic's expected. Well, instead of sitting through traffic, she was wanting to take a shortcut and exited the highway, thinking she can enter the highway up further ahead. But when she exited, we ended up coming out to a no outlet stop where you have to turn left or right and you can't go back onto the road that we were on originally. So now we've actually diverted our path and actually added time, thereby probably adding stress or whatever it was you were trying to avoid in the first place. I look at that in the same metric as I do with these other tokens, right? I look at that from that play. Like if you get off track, like one, how easy is it going to be for you to get back on track? And then two, was it really worth that getting off track in the first place? And a lot of the times the answer is no, y'all. Like the answer is no, just keep it simple. Like we ain't like everyone just wants to get to the shortcut, you know what I mean? But like Disciple says, this is a shortcut. You know what I mean? Like you're taking something that normally people look to do within the span of their lifetime to knock it down and condense it within the span of years, if not months. Right? So it's going to be a little bit of a freaking crazy journey, right? Because like you have to understand, during their lifetime, they had plenty of time where there were ups and downs, and they just went over a lot slower, smoother pace. And again, it was kind of like this the whole time for them, right? Whereas with us, we're like, and then all of a sudden we're up here a couple years later, because that's how it's going to work. So do you have any suggestions for an alternative wallet? I've heard Orox is good. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other wallets out there. Orox is always good. If you just want to be on the wallet side itself, you can still interact with hardware wallets as well. Treasure is where I would end up leading you to if you were to choose one. You can choose Treasure or Ledger if you decide to get either one. Highly suggest buying them directly from the vendor themselves. Again, this is just all part of it. I typically even recommend getting a couple of them. And the reason why I'm always a fan of at least minimum of 3 wallets, right? You got your one wallet, you got your backup wallet, and then you have, we'll call it a DGEM wallet or whatever you want to call it, Playtime wallet, Play Fun wallet, whatever you want to call it, playing with yourself, whatever you got to call it, whatever you got to call it. You know what I mean? Call it what you want. But the 3 wallets will allow you to have a good system in place. So should one wallet end up getting compromised because you connected it to some malicious DApp, well, all of a sudden you at least have a backup. So there's at least a fail-safe in place. And then you're probably a lot more cautious to not make that same decision or same play again. Well, that's how I feel as well whenever I see all these different protocols coming out left and right. And anytime that you're interacting with some of these things, they're injecting some sort of contract and you're agreeing to something within your own wallet. And so, and you subject yourself to just more volatility and not volatility, more vulnerability, right? So I don't want to leave myself open like that. So I'm very cautious about what I connect to. Very cautious. I wonder if eHex on Pulse Chain is the better deal right now. So Sebastian, great question. This is like, so and I've showed this in the past, and it really is, and I do believe this when I say this as well, y'all. I really do. But the idea behind it is that, the idea behind it is you can come in here and choose that you want to get Hex from Ethereum. So you can already be that as the option. And should you so happen to bridge in one of the stable coins, USDC, DAI, USDT, whatever it may be, then you can actually purchase your Hex from Ethereum on Pulse Chain. Now, the reason why you would do this is to three reasons really, but I'll say 2. One, you're planning on doing multiple purchases within Hex, and you don't want to pay the gas fee every single time on the Ethereum side to do multiple purchases. So one really good reason why you would do this is if you planning on DCAing over the next, we'll say 6 months, or heck it, we'll even just call it 3 months. If you plan on DCAing over the next 3 months and building up a position before staking it, then the best play would be do that on the Pulse Chain side. Why? Because you're going to pay pennies for the transaction fees, whereas even on Ethereum right now, with the GUI being as good as it is, which by the way, y'all, GUI is sitting at 18. So if y'all have some stakes that are ending or anything like that, anything below 20, good time to transact. Okay. Really good time to transact is what I like to look at. So that's what I see whenever I see these numbers right here. 15, my God. If you have something that you got to do on the Ethereum network, now could be a really good time to do it. Now, again, this is Sunday, August 27th. Typically, Sunday is going to be the better day to transact on the Ethereum network as well. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this. But if you planned on accumulating over the span of the next 3 months, and you just wanted to accumulate before doing many different stakes or multiple stakes or whatever the case may be, then the best play would be do it on the Pulse Chain network. You pay way less in gas, you accumulate a much bigger position, and once you've accumulated your set amount that you want, that you have enough that you want to stake, you just take those wrapped EHEX tokens on Pulse Chain and bridge them back onto Ethereum, and then you can just stake your hex on that place. Super simple, super easy. You have to do one claim transaction and you have to do one stake transaction. Pretty simple. It's much better than doing multiple purchases at that time. The second reason why you would want to go through and do it over here on Pulse Chain as well is maybe because you are coming in with a lot bigger purchase. And if you are a bigger player who is looking to do a bigger purchase, there's more liquidity available on the Pulse X system than there is on the regular DEXs on Ethereum side. Okay? Because liquidity is very low on the Ethereum side, but because everything is tied together with Pulse Chain, there's a way that you can actually end up getting more hex with less slippage through buying hex on Pulse Chain. So those are like the main two reasons that I would think of as to why you would do it that way. If you were looking to just make a purchase and just stake it right away, and you don't plan on making any additional purchases, I would say it's okay to just do it on the Ethereum network, because then you're just doing one swap transaction and one stake transaction, which comes out very similar to what you would end up doing by doing a claim and a stake transaction either way. So keep that in mind. That is a good point. But that's how I've been accumulating my hex on Ethereum over here on Pulse Chain. Now, again, I do things through limit orders on Ethereum because Ethereum has limit orders. And I do things by making the purchase, by clicking the buy and clicking the sell myself on Pulse Chain at this time. So if I see a good opportunity arise and it's something that I do want to purchase, I'm not doing that purchase through the Ethereum network. I'm doing that purchase through the Pulse Chain network, and I'm accumulating a certain bag size of hex that I will then bridge back over onto the Ethereum network when I've accumulated set amount. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that made a lot more sense than it may have come out in my head. But facts, PDI pump for a week. The hype is done. I guess I should go back into Pulse. Yeah, if you were able to get some X's, grats on the X, right? But most people weren't able to get X's on that. Most people are actually caught off guard, unfortunately. And this is where a lot of people ended up getting caught right here, right when everyone started being like, this is the play. This is it right here, somewhere in this little zone here. This is where a lot of people got caught, right? So if that many people got caught, well, that's all. Like even right here down to here, I mean, it's down 60%, which is what's funny about this is we've been seeing this exact same thing play out for a lot of these tokens that are coming onto the Ethereum network or Pulse Chain network. It looks like it's coming into right about a 7-day window where things are having a good little pump and then a nice little 70-80% recorrection. You might get the little 2x pump back up again, but most likely you end up just accumulating down for a little while. And then again, if this volume drops, y'all, expect it to drop because this does not have any significance on it. So if you were able to make some money on this play, grats. I would take that money and put it to the side, right? And go do what you will with it whenever the full moon comes around, because that full moon's coming here in the next few days. And if you want to use this opportunity to take advantage of what could be possible, especially with Pulse Chain, for example, Pulse X, for example, we start looking at these tokens over here and we start seeing that, okay, cool. Right now we have a full moon coming out. We haven't ever seen these prices before. What if we end up going back down even below where we first started out and charting? What if we get to 4027? Do you have a plan in place right now to take advantage of that at this point in time? I hope you do. because we got the full moon coming, and it comes, and it'll be here, and it'll be gone. So we're well within the range right now to be in this little zone. So keep that in mind. If we fall below typically 3.3, this is on the pulse side right now. If we fall below, this is funny, 3.3, even 3. Heck, if we fall below 2, this is how comical is it that these numbers end up being very similar to hex. Even though I know the zeros in a different place, I think it's comical that the zeros and the correlation end up being pretty tied to like where the price actually is right now. Anyways, I guess I got distracted by that because this is something that caught my attention right here. Like right now, what is the price of Ethereum hex? Yeah, 36 0.0036. And then the price of Pulse 0.000036. That's too funny. Anyways, hopefully y'all caught that. We'll be catching that on as well. Sunday is show the puppy day. Oh, I just had the cute puppy in here. All my puppies are cute, don't get me wrong, but we have a little Caton de Touliard. And if y'all don't know what that means that bitch is a fancy puppy. But no, we got my puppy right here. I don't know if he's gonna come up. He's a tired pup. That's good. Come here. All right. This is Delta. Oh, what the? That's good. Up. Yes. This is Delta. You good boy, aren't you? Aren't you a good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh my goodness. Well, that's for you, Miss Gloria. We got Show the Puppy Day for sure. Again, this is Delta. Y'all are going to get to know him, love him. He is definitely a sensitive boy with the biggest heart. He's got the biggest heart. But he will play forever. That dog's energy is on par with some of the crazier pups we've ever seen. But hopefully you enjoyed the puppy on that one as well for you. That was for you, Miss Gloria. Easiest ramp from outside pulse chain entering. Okay, we got all that. Yep, we got Coast coming in. Yep. What's up, Kaisa? How you doing, my friend? Cool. What about changing wallets from MetaMask to another wallet with existing stakes? So the stakes are tied to your keys, right? So like, again, Crypto Truth, like the stakes are tied to your keys. Your keys are what access the door to the vault behind the door, right? And so your keys are what access your stakes, right? And right now, those keys, while you're using them on MetaMask, is just an interface that you can type these words in to access this door to get behind it, which is the vault. Right now, you can take those words and put them in to another system that allows you to insert those words, like Aurochs Wallet, for example. Internet Money is another one that you can type those seed words in, and you can gain access to what these keys had behind the door. All you're doing is using a different interface to change it to a different door and then open up behind it. But your keys are what the actual stakes are tied to. It's not tied to MetaMask, if that makes sense. Hopefully that does. What's up, Kaisa? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, we got pretzels in the chat for Wes. Yes, sir. Coast may be taking days to clear even a small ACH amount. FYI, did for me. Perhaps a second transaction will be faster. So from what I hear, Academaciated, the very first transaction should always take at least 3 days from what I believe. I heard 3 to 4 days. And then after they have gone through that first little cycle with you, the introduction phase, if you will, we'll call it the little honeymoon phase of you and the Coast partners, creators, they allow things to expedite things much faster where things get done within the span of hours when ACHs start happening. So I'm curious to keep me in the loop on that as well, Academaciated. Let me know. CST is the Coast stablecoin. We have it now. Cool. There you go. CST, boom, stable is live. Easy arbitrage if you want to play that game. Well, let me pull up CST. I imagine it's tied to WPLS. We'll just see. Cool. So we do have a stablecoin. My God, yeah, that would. Can you imagine the people who are going to come in here and try to play the arbitrage game? I know people are. Y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are just absolutely crazy. So, okay, now that there is a stablecoin, so let's just kind of use CST as the example. So now that there's a stablecoin live on Pulse Chain, what you would do to avoid any additional ancillary risk or vulnerabilities was you would take your stablecoin on Ethereum, you would bridge it over, wrap it over into a token on Pulse Chain, and then you would take that and just swap it for CST. That way, you get rid of the bridged wrapped token version, because the fact just having that token within your wallet brings inherently more risk because it's a wrapped token. So if the bridge were to ever end up succumbing to a hack or whatever the freaking people want to call it that day, then you could be held with the coin that isn't able to have any value. So be very careful when it comes to holding wrapped versions of tokens. Now, we're fortunate enough that we have one of the best bridges that have ever been out for our system and our ecosystem. Never had any exploits, never had any openings or hacks, and it's the Omni Bridge. So curious to see how this whole thing will continue to play. Hopefully, it continues as it has been and without any risk or vulnerabilities. But should you not want to leave yourself open to that as an option, then you can always deploy it back into a CST. Now you can see with CST that clearly doesn't always maintain a dollar peg. A dollar peg is right up here, by the way, y'all. So like this right here is a dollar peg, right? And so even then it's already hit below many times. So be mindful about this. Is on a 4-hour chart. I could do it on a daily. Maybe it looks a little better. Yeah, be mindful. People are definitely playing this as an arbitrage play. I'm not really sure how it all works. I got 77,000 in liquidity through here from what I can see. So people are going to be building this position up. Liquidity will get thicker. It will get stronger. It will become less volatile and susceptible. The arbitrage plays are there. So, yeah, right there with you. Appreciate you sharing that information with CST. Good to know. What up, ES Sports? How you doing, my boy? Yeah, Internet Money Wallet's another wallet as well. No notification on stream. Well, I'm here, ATX. What's up? How you doing, Crypto Bendu? Yeah, I've been hearing that a little bit. Not really sure if it's like a StreamYard thing, if I'm not putting the announcement in time or what. Because this one, I did the announcement probably like 15 minutes before streaming. So I'm in the UK. I can only do wires right now to load my Coast account, but hopefully ACH and debit card and credit card come soon. I earn dividends with the IM wallet too. Yeah, you definitely do. There's plenty of other benefits as well when it comes to other wallets, but I think Richard Hart has even said it in the past as well. He doesn't have any issues with MetaMask, so most of the time when issues arise, it's because of user error type situation. So stakes are on in the blockchain, not MetaMask. Just take the seed to a Rabby wallet and move on with life. Exactly. I'm going to try Rabby. There you go, Archie. VPN, folks. Yeah, exactly. Use your VPN if you have it. If you don't, they got several out there. A lot of haters and fudders will call back to us when the green candles day comes. Pulse Chain have the most realistic volumes while others fake it. Exactly. ATX is getting my buy finger excited. Yo, hey, all I'm saying, y'all, is right now we got the full moon coming up. And in my experience, from what I've seen in the past and everything that's been happening, full moon tends to be bringing out some bearish energy, meaning that there could be some really great buying opportunities that could arise in the very near future. So have some dry powder ready to deploy just in case, if it's something that you should so want to be a part of, or just keep on relaxing. We'll wait until 2024, 2025 to be able to start taking massive profits. I do start seeing this flip around coming toward the next 60 to 90 days, as we've talked about in the past. So I'm definitely keeping that in the mind as well. How you doing, Cookie de Chocolata? ATX, in your experience, are the moon cycles correlating with price movements? Waters Above said yesterday, Ari should stay home, but I'm not sure if financial danger or personal danger was the issue. Yeah, he didn't really say it was financial or personal. He just said that that could be a crazy day for RH, and he just said to stay home. I believe it was the 26th already, if I'm not mistaken. And the 26th have already come and passed. I could be wrong on the date as well, so keep that in mind. If I am wrong, I apologize. It's not, I try to pay attention to some of Lil Waters Above because I appreciate his time on Crypto Coffee, of course. I think that's where we all first started seeing him. I've seen him go on Randy Hilarski's stream. I've seen him on other streams as well. So very, very curious thoughts on what he talks about. He has an interesting way of looking at certain items, whether it be through astronomy and gematria, or whether it just be his overall philosophy on how he believes things to go, especially with the Wyckoff method. He's very big in that as well. So yeah, keeping all that in mind with waters above, I think he's already passed the Richard Hart warning day, if you will. But yeah, I mean, so full moon cycles, I don't want to call them like completely garbage by any means, because if you look back, I mean, there's clear precedent that shows that like the full moon has hit and bearish energy has come around shortly thereafter. In fact, I'll just share this on screen real fast with you, and you can see. So this is the hex chart right here, and again, this is a full moon, new moon cycle. So essentially, what this is full moons are the down arrow showing where the price action is going to be going on a full white moon right here. We have a new moon, which is hard to see, obviously, because it's a new moon. They aren't out there, but they're typically bringing a bullish energy as well. And then usually you have a span of 3 to 5 days before and after these little energy cycles. So if you actually look right here, you can kind of see we get the full moon, we get some bearish stuff here, we get a new moon, we try going bullish, couldn't quite get there. Full moon, bearish, obviously we already kind of see that happening. New moon, tried to go bullish, couldn't quite get it. New moon or full moon, bearish. New moon, bullish, tried, couldn't get it. Full moon, that one flipped a little bit. So again, not always 100%, not a perfect trade record on here. So do not go making trades based on this as well. But you can see typically when a full moon hits, there is some bearish energy to be following. Now, we have also been in the longest bear market as well since freaking crypto's been out, right? And so if like you're just looking at it from that perspective, you can definitely see that they definitely be trying. But this is the same thing where you get a little full moon, new moon situation happen, new moon bullish, full moon bearish, right? So if I'm just kind of saying that could be a possibility that we may end up encountering, well, I would like to be properly prepared instead of not ready for it should it not happen. So that's kind of where I bring up this whole concept. And again, this whole candle wick didn't really hit right there. As you can already see right here, this is the actual full on chart for that as well. But yeah, am I going to be ready just in case? For sure. Like one, so I don't look at it just from a perspective of we're hitting a bull moon or bull moon. That's funny. A full moon, so we had to be bearish. I look at it from, are we making higher highs? Are we making lower highs? Are we making lower lows? Are we making lower highs? Like so like this happens so often that it matters in a sense that I would rather pay attention to all of that. And that also indicates bearish energy as well. So like if I'm just looking at this little chart again, this is on the daily right now, but I'm not seeing higher highs start forming. We are in fact seeing lower lows still happening, right? So like the low here was 0.0000, I'll just say 4 zeros, 33, whereas the low here, oh, it's so freaking close. Let me get more technical. The low here was 403395. The low here was 403305. So that means we've already gone below where we were over here, on here and here and here, meaning lower lows and guess what? Lower highs. Like we finally may have hit a higher high if you're going based off candle wicks, but I'm not going off candle wicks. I don't know about you. I'm just making sure that this level can come back up to here. And if it can't come back up to here, most likely going to be some bearish energy coming up, meaning I want to take advantage of these prices should they so arise. How far it goes down, we don't know, right? We've already seen the big dip come from the SEC. That was on the 31st. And here's what's so sad about that. We're forming this nice little bullish angle too. Like this was us back before the SEC. It was forming this nice little bullish energy. Everything was going up. We were actually hitting this nice little line, SEC. So now we have to recover everything that was lost during this time. And typically when something goes down, we'll say 70, 60%, you have to double that in order to return back to where it was. So now instead of the 70% down, we have to actually end up doing 140% up just to get back up to that previous level. Just simple math. So yeah, curious. But I would definitely be paying attention. I know I have the dry powder ready, so hopefully y'all do too. Appreciate the pup comments as well. Much love. Thank you, ATX, for the puppy. Yeah, exactly. The puppy is lovely. Yeah, he's so sweet. He's a sweet pup. Love him, love him, love him. Yeah, exactly. Hey, everyone. Beautiful pup. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for talking about the full moon. Of course, Crypto 85. Yeah, so I'm bringing it up because, guys, I do believe that, like, if we should see a time where Hex is going to do something crazy, it might just be now. And if Hex does something crazy, are you properly ready to take advantage of it should the situation present itself? Or do you just let this one slip by and know that's okay as well? As long as you are allowing it to happen, it's okay. The downside to it is when you plan to buy this dip, but then you don't ever buy the dip because you let greed get in the way. And we talked about this a little earlier, but a lot of the times people will start seeing the price drop and they think it's going to go down further and I can get a better deal if I just wait, which isn't always the case. It has been lately because the price has gone down. So I can't say that's obviously wrong because clearly, if you had waited, you would be getting a better price, even had you not sacrificed in a lot of the cases, because well, we've talked about this in the past where the price actually ends up being for the sacrifice and all that. So the way I'm looking at though, the RSI is still looking pretty freaking weak, right? We've only hit one time undersold, and that was back on the SEC time right here where we kind of got undersold. We haven't really hit that level since Pulse Chain has been out. So keeping that in mind, I could see us going slightly undersold once again, which would look like this. It would go undersold and kind of bounce back up, which would mean we'd probably see prices in this little range here. So get ready if you do end up seeing something like this being possible. It is there. We are trying to form a little bit more of a better pattern, which is going to get us in this little bullish zone. But I don't quite see it yet. I don't quite see it yet. We aren't even curving. This is a 9 EMA and 15 EMA. We aren't even curving up yet on this EMA. I know these are all lagging, but the idea is you would want to see this start curving, and this is going to start curving, and eventually you get that nice little trajectory where we flip bullish, and then we actually start getting the little green candles on the way up. And right now I don't see, nothing is shouting bullish right now to me. Nothing's like do it. So if I'm looking at it from all aspects, the full moon cycle, the TA cycle, the overall sentiment of everything, I still see bigger buying opportunities available to us right now that could be possible and presenting themselves in the next few days. So I just wanted to share this with everyone because it could be a possibility for you to scoop up a nice good bag. And usually when crypto happens, and in crypto, when prices hit a bottom, they never typically return to the bottom. So keep that in mind that we may never see some of these prices once we actually start the pump. So what would you do now to make sure that you can have full advantage in the future when the pump happens? Everyone's still DCing and holding. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jack. It looks like for the most part, a lot of people are still DCing and holding. I know, obviously, we have these sellers come through. In fact, where we have more seller volume in terms of their dollar value amount that they're selling. But in terms of the actual overall buyers versus sellers, we're back in the point in time where we actually now once again have more buyers than sellers buying up these assets and tokens for Pulse, PulseX, Hex. For all these tokens, they are all becoming to show that there are more buyers than sellers, which is pretty interesting. Here's another fun thing that I noticed, and let me know if I never dove in on this one and figured out why. But we just recently had one of the top 10 payout per T-share days that we've had in quite some time. So if you go to hexdailystats.com or hexstats.today is their new website handle, you can actually go to page 2 and look right here. Back on August 11th, we actually had one of the highest days in terms of payout per T-share. If you break this down and just look at it right here, August 11th was the 7th or 8th highest payout per T-share in Hex's history since launch of December 2019, meaning that if you were staked this one day on August 11th, that one day paid you almost twice as many Hex as it normally does every single day. So congrats to everyone who was staked that day. This one kind of slipped by me. And what I found fascinating about it, and the reason why I pull it up, is because what's interesting is we actually ended up seeing the exact same thing over here on Pulse Chain. And so it makes me wonder, why would someone EES on both Pulse Chain and Pulse X? This was very curious to me because I can understand, maybe doing one or the other, but to do both, it seems silly. So it led me to, like, my next question was like, did they get hacked? Did something happen? I didn't hear about any of this at this point in time. So I don't know what do y'all know exactly what went down, and maybe why on August 11th we had a payout of 10.7 hex per T share on Pulse Chain, and on Ethereum we had a payout of 10.69 hex per T share on Ethereum. That one slipped right by me, and I didn't hear anybody talking about it. But congrats to everyone who was staked that day, because guys, there's only few and far between days where we've had above 10. Right? Like, you have to understand there are very few. So you want to make sure that you don't miss these days when they happen. Eventually, 10 hex per T share will be a daily payout per T share. Like, it has increased from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 hex per T share to 5 to 6.5 now. We're at 6.5 hex per T share on average. Imagine the day where we're at 10.6 hex per T share in the span of maybe just the next couple of years, y'all. Like, what if by the time 2026 rolls around, we're getting paid 10 hex per T share? What would you do now to make sure that you can capitalize on that opportunity? That is what's in front of you right now, y'all. That is what we're discussing. That is what I want y'all to be ready for. That is why I want the full moon to come around and let the blood fucking bleed. Let the believers stick around and come out to win, and let the non-believers get out of town and skedaddle. Get out of here. You know what I mean? ATX, how do I get the moon cycles up on Deck Screener and Trading View? So you can only do it on Trading View, Sovereign Man, unfortunately. They don't have it on Deck Screener just yet. But on Trading View, you literally just go to the indicators. These are the main ones. And you just type in moon phases, and you'll get the nice little moon phases calendar thing right here. I wonder what this one does. Curious. Oh, moon phase strategy. Ooh, this one tells you when to sell. Ooh, that could be cool. Moon phase strategy, profit, Lux algo. Shit. Tip me up a good time. I'm going to figure this out here in a little bit. We're about to find out because that looks crazy cool. Let me get rid of this one real fast. This one just looks cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's got the full moon here. What the new moon look like? Does it show a new moon? Oh, it does. Look at that. The new moon's so dark right there. So, okay, cool. And it's saying short and long. Yo, I'm about to mess around with this little moon indicator right now. But anyways, long story short, all you have to do is just type in moon phases on Trading View, and you get a nice little indicator that'll pop up right here as well. And for S's and G's, I'll probably go have some fun with that most recent one that I just pulled up right here. This one just looks cool. Does it? Like, that just looks cool. Anyways, got completely distracted, but hopefully that answers the question for you, because yeah, I mean, that's really what you were asking. So what else we got? Crypto Truth. For real though, I'm super excited to still have the opportunity to accumulate at these prices. It is good for those of us little guys. Yeah, these prices are like a blessing in disguise that will reveal itself to you in the future. But until then, you only see it as a fuzzy painting in a pitch black room, because you don't quite understand the blessings that are and that will be into the future. If you are having any doubts, that may be how you're feeling. And I understand, because it is scary buying on this, especially being that when you buy, you see that you lose, we'll say 30% of the value, 50% of the value within the span of a month or 2 months. That's fast. If you put in 10K and you're only worth $5,000 after, that's fast. That's unfortunate. That's crypto, right? Like, you got to understand, guys, that is crypto. That is crypto, right? And so the idea behind it is you put your money that you believe in on projects that you believe in, not on silly meme coins that may go up and may go down, not on something that doesn't really have anything back in it, not on something like that. Come on, man. if you want to do that, by all means, have fun, right? But it's just like I've said this so many times. There's only so many times that you're going to be able to win before you make a loss, and usually that loss outweighs all your other wins. Think about that. Waiting for uptrend to form. Catching a fallen knife has become a losing battle. Yeah, so that's the other. So K Crypto is looking at it from that perspective where they'd much rather everything just bottom out, let everything continue to fall, let everything finish falling. Once everything is finished falling and it started to recover, there's usually a number in mind that people will start being like, it's recovered enough to where I will begin buying back in. To some people, that recovery number may sound crazy. In fact, some people believe the recovery number is the all time high of the previous cycle, meaning they won't buy back in until Hex has at least reached 56 cents again, because that is their level showing that they are willing to take, because they don't necessarily care to get the 100x, 2x, or 200x, 500x. They don't care about that. They're comfy with the good 2, 4, 10x, right? And so they may be sitting on like $500,000 and they're just sitting on that money and they won't even buy back in until it reaches 56 cents again. To us, that may sound preposterous and wild and crazy, but to them, it makes sense. Because for us, we look at it from a standpoint of, damn, dude, if you waited until that point in time at 56 cents and it's at the current price of 0.0038, well, let me tell you, my friend, you have just actually ended up losing roughly about a 147x just to get that part back up, because that's what you get when you buy these opportunities at these prices. But it is tough to do, y'all. It is tough. It is very tough. And to some people, they have the same mindset. Know the number that you're going to be setting the goal back in, where you will start buying back in and you don't see it as a falling knife anymore. But also keep in mind to start getting back in at that point too, right? Because then you still have many X's available just to reach the previous all-time high, assuming your number uptrend is not 56 cents. So ATX, you love to keep it real. There's 150,000 hex wallets right now in 2025. Is it reasonable that those that believe and buy the price right now can actually retire for life, or am I wrong? I mean, retire for life? That's like everyone's definition of retire is completely different. I've had that talk so many times as well. But like, if you believe, is it reasonable that those that believe and buy it the price right now can retire? Like, yeah, like, dude, if you come in, so assuming we're just going to do the 147x, this is just going back up to the previous all-time high from where it's currently at right now. So assuming it just does that, if you bought in right now and you come in with, we'll say $10,000, for example, and it reaches 147x, meaning it reaches 56 cents again, at this point in time, $10,000 turns in to $1.4 million. Now, is that enough for you to retire on? I don't know. That's just the numbers of where they are. Now, the benefit there is, what if you stake during that time too? Okay, you earn some more. And then the number's even higher. Okay, cool. So then you end up with like so many other items on top of that as well. So I can't just say like, out of this, everyone's going to be able to do it. But yeah, for sure. Like, you have a higher opportunity for X's to be available to you, more so than someone waiting until the price is back at 10 cents, 20 cents, or even 30 cents again. So assuming, let's just say for another reference. So say you bought and you were buying it at 10 cents and you bought it 20 cents and you bought it 40 cents and you bought it 50 cents because you may have caught that little wave in 2021. That may have been you, right? Well, if that was you and you were buying during that period and then the prices started dipping down, and yeah, you may have accumulated some more back at 20 cents, 30 cents, or whatever during that time because you thought that was the dip happening, and your average price is sitting in the ballpark of 30 cents right now, and then you price dropped all the way down here, again, you're down 90%, but like, or 99%. So during this time, you're down all this money, even though you're not buying in anymore because you're scared. But the downside to it is now your average price is still stuck here at 30, 35 cents. Whereas right now, if you were buying even at these prices, not even a lot of money because you get so much bang for your buck at these prices. But if you bought at this price, then you lower your DCA so much. I mean, so freaking much. You take your DCA from like 35 cents to like 12 cents within a purchase. And you do another purchase and then you like 12 cents to 7 cents. Now, when the price goes back up to 50 cents, instead of just getting a 2x for your average, you're actually looking at a good little 4, 5, 10x. It's incredible. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. That's what you get when you buy these prices down here. You lower your overall average. Now, I know it's tough. I get it. I get it's tough, man. I know it is. Can I say you will retire 2025? I don't know. If you only bought 1,000 hex, that's not enough to retire. I mean, even if it hex reached $5, that's only $5,000, right? And so, like, is that enough to retire? Like, no. So, like, there's a lot of that a lot of missing pieces in that question right there. I'm about to drop out of college. I'm only a pole squid though. Well, I'm not a fan of college, so go have fun doing what you want to do. And yeah, don't worry about taking on any loans. Don't worry about having the battle that happens, because in all reality, most times if you actually want to, I'd recommend getting a sales job if you're looking to start something. Because sales doesn't really require that you have any degree, and you can typically make a lot more money because you're paid for your work and not for your time. Meaning you don't have to work a 9-to-5 job and just get paid hourly. You get paid based on commission, based on the efforts that you put forth, that you were able to reap the reward that you sowed yourself. Because you're like, I have a goal, I hit a goal, and you get paid that goal. It's really cool. So pulse squid, meaning you would have 210 million pulse X or pulse. You said you're a pulse squid. So let me just pull up the little thing here. Pulse chain leagues. So squid would put it right about 150 million pulse is what I'm seeing right now based on where everything is. And is that enough for you to retire on? Do the math, see what happens. Like, have some fun, right? So 150 million, I've done the math with y'all in the past as well. Even just going back up to 0.00 or 0.01, like say we reach a penny, or we'll just multiply it by 5. So say you reach half a penny, 0.005, which is a 15x from sacrifice, which again, pretty low if you ask me. But even in that scenario, you take 150 million pulse and you turn it into $750,000. That's a lot of damn money, especially for someone dropping out of college. I don't know what your money financial situation is, but most of the time, college ain't cheap. And so, yeah. Which one, in your opinion, is going to make the most X's on the next bull run? Pulse X, or Hex? That's a fantastic question. If I had that, I think I would go all in on that token to make it happen. So because I don't know which one's going to do the most X's, I opt with the saying that I'm okay with my average X's being a certain X. So if I think that the price of Hex even just goes back up to the previous all-time high, that means there's 147x sitting available to me right now at these current prices. And assuming that my average price is higher, maybe my opportunity may only be 100x to get back up to the previous all-time high. Okay, cool. So that's 100x there. What if on Pulse Chain, I'm looking at an average of, we'll say 100 to 500x. So we'll just do an average of 3. We'll just be nice and just right in the middle, somewhere there. So now I'm looking at 300x there, 100x on Hex, and then Pulse X. Okay, cool. We're looking at anywhere between a 50 to 100x, right? And again, I've just kind of broken this down in a simple way, but you do 50 to 100x. Okay, cool. So now my average during all these things are somewhere in the ballpark of about 200x, and like 200x my overall bag. My God, I won, right? Like, I won. You won. You won, right? Like, if you put 10,000 in each one, just for example, and your average during that whole time is a 200x on each one, for example, and that's 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, and that's not even including if you got Hex on the other chain. You okay? What happened? Oh shit. Whew. Scared me. Wife screamed. She was correcting a dog, but I thought she hurt herself or something, so I was about to run out. Damn, that scared me. My heart's over here racing now, man. Like, I don't know if y'all ever got that way with the spouse, but damn. So hopefully that answers the question, right? Like, I want that to be as simple as possible, but I know that may not be like the way the question was intended. Like, why would you not? So here's what you don't want to have happen. You don't want to say that I think Pulse is going to win, and I'm going to go all in on Pulse, because what happens inevitably is Hex will start running, and then you're going to be mad that you didn't get any Hex. You'll be mad. You just didn't get any Hex. Pulse may still be sitting here. Hex starts running. Now, do I see that happening? No. Everything's tied together right now. But let's just play along with me here. So Hex starts running. Well, then you're like, damn, I have this bag of Pulse that ain't doing anything. Now I got this thing going here. I'm going to move some because this one's pumping. I'm going to move some of my Pulse into this one pumping. You hear how this could go, right? And then all of a sudden, that one starts dumping, and this one starts pumping. Now Pulse is pumping, and Hex is dumping. So now you've taken a portion of what that Pulse was, moved it into the one asset that's dumping now, and moved some of that's actually going to keep pumping. And this will happen inevitably. You will say, I wish I would have just put some into XYZ token, whatever that is. Hex, Pulse, Pulse X, whatever. Hex on Ethereum, doesn't matter. You will inevitably say that. So instead of leaving yourself open for that way to be to say that, all you have to do is just say, I'm getting all four. And if my average is 100x, I'm good. If my average is a 50x, I'm good. Like, but again, like I'll look at it from just the standpoint of right now, Hex where it sits right now, currently leaves 147x available to itself. That's incredible, just from previous all-time high. So let's just say your average isn't there, and let's just say your average is 50x. Cool. There's 50x there, 50x on Hex on Pulse Chain. Maybe not 50x because I would put it at a higher multiple. So maybe you only get 25x. We'll say your Pulse X gets you 100x. We'll say your Pulse gets you a nice little 250x, and your average over all that is 100x. Again, you take $2,000 into each one. That's a mil. That's a mil. That's a mil. That's a mil. Bam. Simple. Like, don't play yourself, y'all. Don't play yourself. And I know that's not a mil. I get the math and how it works, and I understand all that. Because if you took 10,000 and this one did a 250x, you're gonna get more. I get it. But all I'm saying is the basic breakdown of an average being of everything that is, and then you being able to have the money there available to you. I do not want to bet against one or another, so I got all of them. I'm all in. What's up, Hexians? How you doing, Tin Top? Hey, Tix, where can I find my staked Hex on Pulse Chain? Just go to app.icosta.pro. So usually the easy way of doing it is just by going to app.icosta.pro, and when you connect your wallet, it'll pop up right here. So you would just go to like right here, app.icosta.pro. Once you connect your wallet, it'll show all of your stakes right here. You can end your stakes, you can mint your Hedron, you can do all that right here. So hopefully that makes sense. Answers that question right there. I guess I should sub to the Patreon. I definitely plan for doing some personal info. Appreciate that. Looking forward to having you aboard. All right, so 50 weeks to shake out all paper hands. Did he mean from launch? That would put us right by the time of BTC's halving. Interesting. Yeah, so that would put us right around the time of BTC halving. The Bitcoin halving this year is happening in April of 2024. And so, yeah, looking forward to that because they usually bring some bullish energy to follow because people are pricing that stuff in. And I would imagine 50 weeks from launch. So we launched May 12th of 2022. So we got 50 weeks from there, meaning May of 2024 would put us right around the 50 weeks because it was May 12th, right? Right at the end of April, we'll say. And that's right around Bitcoin halving. So interesting timing. That's very interesting timing if you said that. That's so awesome, Cookie. The dude's playing 4D chess and we're just living in a world. Full Moon, Bear Wolf, eating the dips. Dude, facts, man. What up? How you doing, Trinity Realm? Good advice on getting in before we reach all-time high again. Well, it's just a reminder. What indicator to use to confirm an established uptrend on the chart? So I just do the EMAs for simple little basis as to see which way the indicators are flipping. And so the basic indicator that I do is a 9 and 15 EMA. And I'll kind of show you how this could play out, like typically when you end up going back in time. So let's just share this for example. So when you get the 9 EMA, when you get the 9 and 15 EMA pulled up on here, you know, typically whenever they do cross, it is a bullish indicator right there. So from this point in time where it said to cross and where it happened, we got the nice little bullish trajectory that actually sent us all the way up to the previous all-time high, right? You got to understand, like, this sucker went all the way up. And then guess what? We started going down. We actually flipped that little indicator right here. So that was the first kind of the bearish indicator, if you will, to show us at this point in time. This is weekly and it's going based off the 9-week, 15-week EMA average during this time. So again, the benefit of having a chart that's longer is you get to be able to do stuff in weekly format, not daily or hourly or fucking minutes, like new charts. And so when you see this little indicator, that's typically the bearish format right there. And then usually when you crosses again, we get a nice little bullish. We got that nice little bullish momentum. So these are the main ones that I look at. And then again, when they cross right back here, this is right around the time we launched, which is funny that that was actually a bearish moment in time. Kind of interesting how that all happened. But until this fully crosses, you can see they're starting to converge further and further away because, again, this price is going down faster than the 15-week average coming in. So overall, these are my little indicators for 9 and 15 when it starts converging and actually crossing. So ideally, you would see this kind of going like this, and ideally this would kind of start flipping around. We would get that nice little indicator right here, right, showing us this is that little indicator where things are going to start flipping. And then usually from there, we get the nice little bullish pattern that keeps it going as well. So that's the main indicator that I use. Obviously, you can look at other indicators as well, such as like the Elliott wave pattern. You can look at just simple little TA charts as well and just kind of see how it all ends up looking and shaking out. I try to make things as simple as possible without trying to overcomplicate things, especially being that I'm not really looking at this chart to trade, right? Like, so you have to imagine back in the day, I would look at these charts to trade and I would try to find the uptrends and I would try to find all this. And I would do that with Cardano and I did well, but I never like did well enough to where I was going to make a whole channel about it, right? That's why equal bags are the best solution. No playing games. Dino X 5555, like, that's what I'm saying right there. Like, you don't want to be messing with it. Crypto Bindu, how about 500 mil pulse? It's a good number, man. Just do the number. 500 mil pulse. Just kind of have fun. Like, even if it only ended up doing 100x, right? So, and again, we've said this in the past, but like, even if all it did was reach a penny, you still have 500 million pulse turned into $5 million, at least value wise on paper. What you decide to do with it at that time is a different story. But what's best to understand is you have to go through the cycle and the psychological struggle that is turning X amount of pulse for whatever amount of dollars that you may have and whatever average price into $5 million. Because you will see that go from $50,000 to $100,000 to $50,000 to 120 to 30,000, and it just keeps going off. So you have to imagine it goes like this, right? And then all of a sudden it ends up being like this cool 50,000 here, 5 million here. But during that time, that mother went like this the whole freaking time. It kept going up. So keep that in mind, right? Like, these are interesting things, but that's kind of what I use. Keep it simple. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Obviously, I could look at other informations. Typically pull up the RSIs against it. Typically, I'll pull up like the stochastic RSI. I'll do look at volume to see, make sure it's still good, make sure the community's still around, see the sentiment of everyone. You got to look at the full picture of everything. You can't just look at like one simple little item and be like, that's it. That's the indicator, because like there's no perfect indicator. So hopefully that makes sense. What is the best and reliable stablecoin to use when taking profits? Thank you. Nadia, I mean, this is a good question. Really good question. That is personal choice at this point. I like USDC because they keep their assets backed 1-to-1. So Circle is trying to say that if you should so ever want to redeem $1, they have $1 in backings behind it. Tether is fractionalized by to no mean, like to no end. So that's just is what it is there. Coach just launched, so I don't really have like the record behind it at this point in time to say like that's the one. But if you're looking to take profits on Pulse Chain, you could either hold it in the wrapped version of the coins, or which is wrapped DAI, wrapped USDC, wrapped USDT, or you can hold it into Coast to break it down. So have some fun there. Cool. 9 to 5, 9 and 15 EMA. Yep. 9 and 15 EMA on the weekly chart. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's it. Late 28. What's up? Appreciate you, my friend. I'm in all 4 tokens. I was just curious about which one will be the top performer. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say Pulse Chain, only because of previous history of what's been around in the past. And then in terms of the next bull run, like if you're asking me which one's going to be the top within the next, we'll say 2 to 5 years, I'll say 2 to 3 years. I'm going to go with Pulse Chain, right? Because it's a layer one. Layer ones have typically outperformed everything else in every other situation previous to this. I would have a hard time believing that we end up doing it. Now, which one performs best in the end? I think Hex performs best in the end. So if you're talking about like a 10-year plan, I think Hex is the way to go, right? If you begin, like the amount you can get now, it's crazy. But if you're a short-term, 2-year, 3-year play, I think Pulse is the way to go. But I don't want to play with any of that. I want all 4, man. Give me all 4. Give me a good bag of all 4. When they win, they all go up. My average of X's is up there, and I'm good. I don't worry about it, and life is good. I get the profits taken along the way. We take profits when we live comfortable. We take profits to live for the next cycle. And that's what it is. And that's what we're going to continue to do as well. But, guys, I'm going to wrap up the Sunday stream with that. Much love to every single one of y'all who came in today. Like, share, subscribe to the content, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.